Hi everyone, this is That Ambition. I'm your host Nalani Salvasingam. Joining me today, we have some repeat offenders. It's kind of a good sign that you guys came back. I didn't scare you away with the first episode, but Vinu and Dilani, thank you for joining me.
No problem.
Thanks for having us again.
You're welcome. Dilani, last time you came on, it was pre-baby. Now we're post-baby. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how tired are you?
10.
Would you go higher if it allowed you?
Of course. I mean, it is what it is, but I still managed to come on this podcast. I'm like, I have to do these. I have to squeeze in everything that I would have done if I wasn't pregnant. So I'm just,
Yes.
if I didn't have a baby, so I'm trying to do that. So, yep.
That's awesome. And Vinu, I know you have family over. So I feel like you're the type of person you enjoy your solitude as well. Like you enjoy your privacy and your alone time. And
I do.
How are you now coping with, I think your sister's been there for 2 weeks now, 3 weeks?
3 weeks. No, sorry, 2 weeks. Just over 2 weeks.
And how much longer?
Another almost 3 weeks.
So how are you feeling right now?
I mean, it's definitely a big change. I do like my alone time. I do like my own personal space, and now I have I'm sharing a room and everyone uses my washroom. Well, 3 others use my washroom now, so that's always fun.
Yeah, and, we know how you feel about people using your washroom.
Yes, I wasn't going to talk about it on the air, but yes, I'm a bit of a germaphobe. And I know you didn't ask me this question. I know I didn't have a baby, but I'm also a 10. I'm tired.
I was going to get to that. Yeah. So you said you took 3 naps today, so that wasn't enough.
I explained to you why I took 3 naps. Stop making me seem like I'm this lazy person, even though I can
be. I think most of us, if we could, we would.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. So, I was off. I had the time. I haven't had time like this off during the day, so it's nice to just kind of relax and take a nap. Maybe 3.
Yes. All right. So today we're going to talk about food. The main reason I want to talk about this on an episode was because I feel like every time we're around each other and the topic of food comes up, it's like 1 hour later we come back up for air and we're like, what happened? Like we just go into this trance where it's just like food. And I've been thinking a lot about my food habits and why do I eat the way I eat, and do we need to eat as often as we eat? Like, is that even necessary? And why, all these things. And because I listen to a lot of podcasts too, those topics are also coming up on those podcasts. So it's been making me want to kind of dissect, I guess, my habits and stuff like that. And do you remember there was one day where we were talking about milk, the different kinds of milk, and it was about for 45 minutes about milk. Okay. About milk. And then we finally went on to something else, because I'm like, I do drink regular milk, and I think there's gonna be a lot of gasps, like she drinks cow milk, how dare she? But I remember, I think it was finally we went on to another topic, and then my sister half an hour later goes, wait, did we mention oat milk? And I was like, no, we're not doing this again. We're not doing this. But seriously speaking, because I know even today I was talking to you guys, or I messaged you guys how I had rice and curry, and I usually don't have rice and curry for lunch, never, especially during work week, right? I don't really cook rice and curry at home, so I don't have it. So today I ended up having it, and I had serious itis when I went back to work. It was crazy. I couldn't, I was just I can't stay awake. So rice and curry, how do you guys eat rice and curry? Because for me, we don't eat it often. My mom usually cooks a lot of different things. She kind of mixes it up. Akash's family is completely different. They eat a lot of rice and curry. They need it at least 1 meal a day. That's rice and curry. How are you guys with your families?
So I don't think I eat rice and curry every day, but it's a lot. I would say my mom lives with me, so she cooks a lot of rice and curry, I would say, and I'm not a huge fan, just because she makes it pretty often. Like I would say 7 days out of the week, she'd probably make it 3 or 4 times. And then like
Mhm.
we'd make other things on the other days. And so yeah, like I would say it's a lot, but not as much as you mentioned, like once a day. Like that seems way
Yeah.
too excessive for me. And even when
Yeah.
I do eat rice and curry, I try to eat very little rice and then I'll just fill it up with curries. So, it's
Mhm.
not as bad. That's kind of how it is.
What about you, Dills?
Our household, like I live on my own, but my parents, they make more so like puttu. They're like big. They can have puttu
Mhm.
once a day. Rice and curry, I would say, yeah, they would have it maybe 5 times a week. Like they're big rice eaters as well. I don't eat rice and curry as much after like I moved out, but yeah, like it's a big deal. Like if our parents, like even if we do get takeout or like we go out to eat, they need to have rice. It's like if they don't eat that rice, it doesn't. It's like it doesn't digest. Like they're not fulfilled. Like this is not enough food for us. So yeah, like rice and curry
Yeah.
is really important at my parents' house, and I don't get it much nowadays. So sometimes I actually miss it. So if my parents
Mhm.
make any vegetarian curries and rice, like I'm kind of like pack me some. I want some. When I used to live with them, I'm like, oh my god, I can't eat this. Like it's just all the time. It's just too much.
Like, you were saying you take a little bit of rice and then you have your curries, which is how we eat. Like, not just me, but like my parents too. That's how we've
Mhm.
always. That's again something that I picked up from my parents. You
Mhm.
put the little bit of rice and then you put the curries all around.
Right.
Akash's family, they put rice all over the plate. The full plate is covered with rice. Then they put the curries on top. So, Dilani, how
Yeah.
do you guys eat it? Do you do the Akash method or do you do the normal sane person method?
I
Which
used
method?
to do the Akash method because that's how my parents eat rice and curry. But now I'm very
Mhm.
like mindful of how much carbs I'm eating, so I'll put a little bit of rice in my curries. And yeah, to be honest, like if you eat it like that, like a small portion of rice and a lot of curries, it's actually very nutritious. It's not bad at all. But it's just the way we Tamil
Yeah.
people eat it. We eat it. We have to have like half the plate rice and just touch
Hmm.
some curries.
Yeah. Yeah,
How are
exactly.
your families in terms of when guests come over? Do your families like to put the food for the people, or do they let the people serve themselves and then just annoy them standing on the side like இன்னும் போடுங்கோ இன்னும் போடுங்கோ இன்னும் ஒரு
Noani,
மட்டும்
you should
கொடுக்குறீங்க
know.
like
Noani should know about my family, so I don't need to say anything. But it's like it's just. I think it's a Tamil thing to. They feel like the people are going to be shy, and we need to feed them. Like we need to feed them. That's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
making sure that when they come over, we've treated them right, and fed them and allow them to leave the house with a full belly and be fully satisfied. But I try to teach them now, like, you can't do that because people don't want to eat a lot anymore. Like people want to eat very less. Like everybody has
Exactly.
a different type of diet that they're focused on, whether it's for health reasons or, whatnot. So, yeah, that's something that they do. And yeah, my house, like I think my family does it, but I don't do it. I allow people, the guests, to kind of, take as much as they want, little less or more, whatnot,
Right.
whatever they want, because you don't want to disturb people or make them feel uncomfortable,
No,
eat
definitely.
unnecessarily, even though that's not a big problem with amongst their
Yeah.
friends. But
Yes. What about you?
Exactly.
Vinny, what about you?
It's the same as Delani. I think I've seen my mom. No, I think they let them take the food, but she's standing by them, telling them, take more. No, 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 this is not enough. Take more, take more. So yeah, that's what my mom does. And yeah, obviously
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that. So yeah, I guess it's very similar in a lot of households. It's just the forcing of taking a
yeah,
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Like Akash's family, they actually put the food. Like, I mean, they don't do it for all like the guests that come, but
Mhm.
like when we go over, they put the food for us. Like
Okay.
they'll put it on the plate. So they always
Mhm.
put like so much. And I'm not used to eating rice like that. Like
Right.
I mean, but I always finish it. Like when I tell Akash, like he'll be like, well, you finish it. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
because like I've been always taught to finish your food. Like don't waste food, finish your
Mhm.
plate. And like again, coming to another habit, like my parents always taught me that, like, don't waste your food and all of that stuff. You should finish your food. And as adults, yes, I hate when I see adults that are wasting their food, that put more than they need, and then they end up throwing. I hate seeing it. Like, I don't see it often because the people I surround myself are, like, food lovers, and like, I think they're pretty good. But like, I do see it sometimes, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, grow up. Like, why are you doing this? Right? It really irks me. But I never realized that how much of an issue, or like a psychological impact, my parents telling me that affected me until did you guys ever watch the show John and Kate plus 8?
I've heard about it, but I never watched an episode.
So it was just it was on, I guess, TLC. It was a couple that they had twins, and then they had sextuplets. So it was just like following their life, right? So they showed so it was one of the episodes where the kids, the sextuplets, are probably around like 3 or 4 at this age. So they're at an age where they have their own plates in front of them, and they're kind of eating themselves, and a little bit more independent. So she said something along the lines of, like, she's saying this to the camera, I just expect them to eat like a good amount of their carbs or the vegetables and everything, like the protein. Like, I expect them to eat a good amount, but I don't force them to finish their food, because I don't want to teach them that you should keep eating even if you're not hungry anymore, just because there's still food on your plate.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because your body knows how much you need to eat, right? Like it's natural. Like, it should be natural. Like, you should only eat as much as your body can take or wants.
Exactly. And it's just, but when we're taught to keep eating, we're telling ourselves, don't listen to your body, because there's still food on that plate. So you need to keep eating, and it is just like such a something just like went like, whoa, like I never even looked at it that way, because this is just like standard for us, right?
It's like a cultural thing almost, right? Like we can't waste food. It's looked at as something bad, so we're used to not, wanting to. We don't want to waste food. But what I was going to mention, one thing, Dilani, you mentioned how like a lot of people waste food. They take more than they want and they end up wasting. But what if they think they can eat that, or like, their eyes are bigger, bigger than their stomach, and so they're like, of course I can eat this, and then it turns out that they can't take it, they can't eat it all.
Yeah, so I like, one tip is take a little, and if you want more, you can go back for a second.
What if you're so hungry?
I'm sorry, but I'm guilty of that. I've done that before. Like, I'd be like so hungry, like, I can do this. I want all of this, and then your stomach just won't allow it, even though you think you can eat it. You can, and then that entire plate just goes in the fridge because you feel guilty. I won't throw it out either, so I'll just put it back in the fridge. And try to attend to it later. But it's something our parents taught us. Like, my parents did the same thing. Like, never waste your food. Don't throw it out. Eat it. And even if we don't eat it, like as kids when we were growing up, like our my dad would be like, oh, leave it. Like, I'll have it. I'll eat it. I'll eat it. Like, they wouldn't throw it out. So I know, but I don't think that's to be honest, like, we need to switch up the way we do parent, or how we are in our household, because that's what leads to really bad diets, right? Like, we're so used to eating unnecessarily, and then you think about it later and you're like, I didn't have to have all that. Like, you actually get full. If you put a small plate, you actually get full, and you don't have the heart to go back and eat afterwards. You're just like, oh, that's enough. I don't even. Sometimes you think I'm going to go for a second, and you just don't end up going for a second.
Yeah,
you're fine with what you had.
Yeah, because we have that mindset. I think it's just it's when I see like the situation you mentioned, Dilani, where like someone serves you a lot of food and it's not the normal portion that I would normally eat, I get scared. I actually feel so uncomfortable, and I'm like, I can't eat this much. And then like, I don't know what to do. Same thing, like in my head, I can't waste it. It's like a dilemma. I'm in a dilemma because like I have to finish all this food that like 3 times what I normally eat, but then I have to finish it. And so I'm just like eating and sitting there for like probably an hour trying to finish this plate of food.
But if it's good, like one good thing about that is like, you can be like, oh, why did I eat so much? But it's like, well, they gave it. I had no choice. Like, it was out of my hands. Like, they gave me that much food. You
That
just put the
rarely
blame on them.
happens. That rarely happens.
This seems to be the opposite of how we really truly eat when we're around each other. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
we're like the opposite. It's like, we'll go for thirds now.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of the time you, but like, I mean, sure,
I was
we
just
all
gonna
do
say.
that. Yeah. Did you
Oh,
guys
wow.
notice any other habits? Because I had one friend in law school who, her thing was, whatever plate of food she had, she would only eat half. That was just like her way of kind of regulating how much she ate, right? Like,
Okay.
like, so for me, it was like whatever plate of food I had to eat the whole thing, and then I feel satisfied. I'm like, I'm good. But her was like, I need to eat only. It could be like the smallest portion of food. She would only eat out. She'll never finish a plate of food,
Wow.
and that was just how she was. I don't know where or how she developed that habit, but it was just like something. And I remember pointing it out once, and she's like, I never even thought about it that way, but yeah, I do that. So, do you guys have any other habits like you felt like this is something odd, something that I realized that, I have a tendency to do this?
Well, when I'm
Yeah.
watching my weight, like I kind of do something like that, but I use a smaller plate. So not the regular size plate, but the smaller plate, and I'll just put the food on the smaller plate. So it just visually looks like, okay, I have a full plate of food, but it's actually a smaller plate. Or like a bowl, I'll throw the food in a bowl, and then I'll eat whatever's in a bowl. That's pretty
smart.
much, yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
When I do try to watch what I eat, which is very rare these days.
That odd time.
Yes, which I need to get back on.
What about you, Vinu?
I was gonna say, you guys probably know this about me. I try to eat half too, or like of something. Like, say there's a donut, I'm like, okay, I'm only gonna eat half, you guys. I try. This
Anyone
is
want
my
to share?
attempt.
Anyone want half a donut?
So this is my attempt. I guess similar to that girl. I do like whatever it is, and I'm like, but I should only eat half because I've had too much to eat. I mean, and everyone knows that it doesn't go so well. I go back and take the other half, and I end up eating the full donuts, for example. So that's a habit of mine. It's become a habit of mine. It's like I'm fooling myself and others, actually.
No, but now we've caught on.
Yeah.
We're like, stop with the charade where you're like, anyone want half a donut? That you did it the last time too. Anyone want half a cupcake or whatever it was? We're just like, who are you playing? Like, who are you fooling here?
But you have to be able to kind of, I mean, like at least I'm trying, right? Like I'm trying to, and maybe there are times, maybe like 10% of the.
If it's too good, she just goes back.
Exactly. Maybe 10% of the time I only eat half. Maybe I stick with just a half and I don't go back. Sure. So you know what? It's working to a certain extent.
Yeah. Or else it would be like all the time. It wouldn't be, you would be eating the full thing. So I guess it is good. And like, you don't know. Yeah. What if you took like the whole thing and you couldn't finish it?
Yeah.
See?
Exactly.
So you went for less and then you.
Yeah, it worked out. It works out sometimes.
Well, when you mentioned like food habits, I was thinking, I'm like, what? Like, I was just like thinking, like, what do I do? Like, what can I talk about? And I'm like, oh, I have a perfect topic. Like with Tamil people, we eat rolls, we eat cutlet, we eat kotrati. So I have a habit of eating it with ketchup.
Oh,
do you guys have do you guys do that? I don't think you guys do it. I feel like I've had.
I don't like ketchup.
I do like ketchup, but never with short eats.
But you can't.
Yeah, it's only with certain things.
You just have to like touch, just touch it. And then when you have the kotrati, you have to like drizzle it on, and it's just like it's so good. It's like the spicy and the sweet, and then the combination. I feel like I can't eat kotrati without ketchup anymore. It's really weird.
Sounds gourmet, by the way. Very gourmet. Drizzling ketchup on top of the roll.
You have to do it that way. You can't just put it on the side.
But a certain amount on each bite, right? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, okay, just very little bit.
That I understand.
But it's so good.
When I was younger, I used to do stuff like that. Like not like Tamil food, I don't think. But when it came to like macaroni and cheese or, like there's certain items that typically you wouldn't have, because like for me mac and cheese is kind of bland, like, so I need the ketchup to kind of boost up that flavor or whatever. But kotroti and ketchup and shorties and ketchup is a new thing for me.
You should
But I'm
try
gonna
it.
have to try it now that you
Try
said it. Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You might change
Okay.
our minds.
You guys, you might not go back. Telling you.
Once you go ketchup, you don't go back.
I don't even know why I'm laughing. That was ridiculous.
Well, let me tell you. I'll tell you guys a
That's
story. I'll tell you a
Yeah.
story since like we're on this topic.
Yes.
So when my sister was little, she always had yogurt with rice, right? And one time they ran out of yogurt, and she was like, "I want yogurt." She took the mayonnaise, and we're like, "That's not yogurt."
Oh no.
And then she had mayonnaise and rice, and she was acting like it was perfectly fine.
She was probably grossed out herself.
I was just like, "This is just so disgusting." Like mayonnaise and rice.
But
That seems
mayonnaise
to be a
is
thing.
good with everything. I feel like I could probably eat that.
No, that's just
With
no.
rice?
That's
Yeah.
so weird.
I mean, like, why not? Like, why would it be bad? You have mayonnaise and like fries and stuff, like potato, bread on bread.
Yeah. I don't know. I just can't
I don't
imagine
know.
it with
I can't either.
rice.
It's weird.
Yeah. Like it's
Yeah.
funny because my sister, sorry, not my sister, my niece, she eats, this is like so new to me too. She eats yogurt with everything as well, even mutton curry. And then she's like, trust me, it's so good. And I'm like, no, I don't even want to attempt that. But she's like, trust me, it is so good. She eats it with like any meat curry, even veggie curry. Well, veggie curry we eat with yogurt as well. But I just find it weird. I don't know about you guys, but we don't eat it with meat curries.
I like
There was a
yogurt.
point in high school where I did that.
Yeah, was it good?
Cause my mom cooked more rice at that time too. Like
Yeah.
it's just when we got older, she kind of like expanded her horizons. But every day I would need rice and whatever curry, like kulambu or whatever she made, chicken curry. I used to eat beef at that time, mutton, everything, and with yogurt. And I thought it was so good. Like I was fiending for it. I was fiending for it. I still put yogurt now if it's curry, even if it's not all veggies, like even if there's meat.
Oh.
I put yogurt in my food. I think
Same.
yogurt really makes things taste.
Oh, that's
nice.
Interesting. I thought it was just my niece. I guess it's just from what I was used to. I'm like, this is so weird to me.
Yeah. A lot of people don't. Akash would think it's like blasphemy, like like
you're ruining the taste.
How
you're
dare
ruining
you?
the taste. The spice level goes down. So most people wouldn't be too happy about that. Yeah.
And also, I mean, Dilani, you mentioned it earlier, how like in terms of like wasting food, how your dad, like, if you're not finishing your food, your parents would like give it to us, like we'll finish it, right? My parents used to do that. And, like this is kind of well, like not my mom because my mom's vegetarian and she's been vegetarian for like most of my life. But my dad, like before, it was like mutton and like even like chicken if there's a lot of bones, because usually she cooks with like chicken breast because we're like kind of picky eater. Like we don't like bones and stuff in our food. Like we're just kind of like princesses, right? So whenever there's like stuff with bones in it and stuff, I would never eat it properly. Like it would never be eaten like the way they expect. Like Akash would be like cutting, biting everything and eating like that. I don't eat like that. So it would be like a bunch of stuff on the corner of my plate, and then I would leave that for my dad, and my dad would eat it, and it's disgusting because it was just in my mouth, but he would eat it like when I was younger, like not anymore, like and like it's weird, but like they thought it was normal. They thought it was okay.
That's love. That's real love for a daughter.
It's like with birds, like they regurgitate their food for their babies, but this is just like an opposite. Speaking of donuts, so like donuts, like I there's certain foods I eat a certain way, which is I know other people don't like watching me eat it that way. They're just like, what are you doing? But like donuts, I would eat, other people meaning Dilani. But donuts, especially if they have like an icing on top or like some sort of like specifically when they have icing on top, I would eat like the donut part by itself, like the bottom part. Then I would eat just the icing on its own because I like separating it. Like pizza, I do the same thing. I like eating the toppings alone, and then I'll just eat. And then when I eat pizza, I don't eat it like regular people eat pizza. I eat it like it's rice and curry. Like my hands will all be like nasty by the end of it because I'm picking up all the toppings and the cheese and everything. And then I like eating just the bottom, like the crust part and like thing with the sauce.
That's very abnormal. And I've never even noticed you eat it like that. This is so weird hearing this.
Now I try not to, just because with the
Okay.
pizza, because I'm just like I mean, I
You
keep
wanna
losing friends. Like, I don't
you wanna
know,
act
is it
civilized, pretty much. You wanna be civilized around people.
yeah, like I don't want to lose more friends because of my eating habits. So I'm just like, okay, like just control yourself, girl. But like if I'm at home, like that's how I'm eating, just like the top by
Mhm.
itself, and like it's like a weird like tendency. Like, do you guys eat anything like that, or are you guys just sane folks? Go
You know,
ahead.
like the fudgesicles, like the ones with that's like chocolate on the outside and ice cream in the inside. I always eat the
Mhm.
chocolate first, and then I eat the ice cream.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Yeah.
My
So
I used to
parents
do
taught me that. Yeah.
that. Another
it's a
thing to pass
skill. It's
down.
a skill because you have to make sure you don't break the ice cream, and you have to get every single
Mhm.
piece of chocolate on it.
Mhm.
And it just tastes
Yeah.
so much better. It tastes so much better.
Yeah, for sure. What, like Kit Kat and stuff? People that
Oh,
eat Kit Kat or O. Henry and just bite into it, like they're psychopaths, because I don't know how you can do that.
that's how I eat it. That's how I eat like
No,
a normal chocolate bar. I just bite into it and I eat it. What am I
not
supposed to do,
not O.
Nalani?
Not
Please
O.
tell me.
Henry. O. Henry?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
O.
eat the O. Henry
Henry.
the same
I
way.
know. I mean, it's just I want everything together, like in that one bite.
You need to deconstruct everything that you eat, okay? My mom is the one that, for O. Henry, like she'll eat the chocolate and the nuts alone, so that that inside part would be
Mhm.
the one that, like, I don't even know what that is.
So your
Like
mom
some
is the
sort of
one to
The
blame for
nougat?
all this craziness.
the nougat.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom, for sure, for sure. And like so it would be just the nougat at the end, and then I would just eat that, and it was so good.
No. Again,
No.
I just eat it like a normal person.
Me
I
too.
just bite into it.
What about Twix?
Same thing. I love Twix and I just same thing, just bite into it. I don't know. Maybe if I had someone teach me these other ways, maybe I would eat the same way that you
To be
would.
honest,
But
I'm guilty of trying to do that because I hung out with Nilani for way too long, and it just like I have to give it a try. So I have tried eating a chocolate bar that way. It's just too much work. It's just a lot
yeah.
of
And like
work.
doesn't your hand get like kind of messy?
Melts,
Like I don't know,
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
too
chocolate
much.
melts.
And then you lick your fingers after.
Oh God,
Oh
no.
It's
my gosh.
perfect.
I want
And
to
it
keep I
takes
want to keep like as much chocolate off my hands as possible. So, like I'm holding on to the wrapper as long as I can,
Mm,
like it just I can't.
I don't know. I feel like if it takes you a long time, you're savoring it for longer and you're not getting through it quickly, right? So I'll tell you how you're supposed to eat Twix, because you told me like no one's taught you. No
Yeah.
problem. I'm here for you, I'm here for you, and I can hold your hand through this, okay? We're gonna get through this together. So you take the Twix. So the two ends, you just do a little nibble, just taking off the little chocolate piece,
Okay.
okay? And then you're gonna eat the top caramel part alone. So you turn it sideways and you go, and you just take just the caramel part. So now once all the caramel is gone, then you're gonna take a bite of the biscuit. Okay? You're gonna let it sit in your mouth for a bit, let it absorb some of that moisture, and then it's just gonna slowly dissolve and melt in your mouth. That's how you eat Twix. It sounded sexual, but it just wasn't meant to sound
But I
sexual.
just feel like I like the taste together though. Like I mean I get you, but like
Just
it's just
try
not
it
the
like this. It'll change your life.
I don't know if I'll
It'll
like it
change.
separately, like each part of the chocolate bar separate. I don't know
Nilani,
if
why
I'll like
don't
it.
you try Vinu's method and just try
Yeah,
having it
exactly.
together?
That's how I ate it for most of my life. And then once I discovered this, I was just like, I can't go back. I will try it normal. Okay, we'll do it. Next time we see each other,
Yeah,
you're
we'll
gonna eat
each
it
I'll
how I
try it
told
out
you,
your way.
and
I'll
I'll
try it
eat
out
it
your way.
normally.
This is
Sure.
Sounds good.
why
But like,
this is why
yeah, go ahead.
Nilani's Costco pack of chocolate bars are still sitting on her dining room table. Every time I come, I'm like, the pack is not gone. I'm like, this was at my house. It'd be done in like 2 days.
No, but it's disappearing because I've been on this like chocolate rampage where I don't know. I can't get enough chocolate right now. I'm just like
It
really
happens.
feeling. Yeah,
It becomes addictive. Like once you start, like you just can't stop.
yeah,
It's
for
horrible.
sure. Do you guys have foods that are? What's your like favorite food? Like this is it. Like for me, it's sushi. If I see it on Instagram, if I see someone went out to sushi, I want it. Like that's my only like trigger food, I think. Do you guys have anything that's like that?
I'm same.
Sushi, pizza. It's kind of endless, probably, actually. Tacos. Yeah, those are probably like my three main ones. I could probably tell you like so many other ones, but right now on my mind, I don't know what it is with pizza. I think I'm obsessed. Like,
Pizza's really good though.
yeah, like
It's
no
like
matter where, like who even if I just had like six slices of pizza, I still, if I see someone else eating pizza, I'm like, pizza. I want a
yeah,
slice of pizza now.
yeah.
Like it's crazy.
I like pizza, but like Dilip eats pizza. He can eat pizza every day if he wanted to. Like
Hmm.
every single day he can have
Yeah.
pizza. Like I'm sick and tired of pizza. We have frozen pizza in the fridge. He goes and gets pizza all the time. Like it's ridiculous. But but like I would say his favorite food is pizza, but not mine. Sushi is definitely one of like top on the list. Sushi and recently, and I think it started triggering when I was pregnant, is dumplings. I don't know why. It's just like I've been
Mm,
so curious to try different like dumplings at different restaurants, different like styles of dumplings. I know me and Vinny used to go
yeah, yeah.
get dumplings when we
When
used
we
to work.
work,
Yeah, when we went into work, and those were,
yeah.
I would say, authentic dumplings, like from like these restaurants. So yeah, like I don't know, I've been recently really into dumplings, and it's very simple and it's not very unhealthy, I would say. So I like dumplings. That's
Yeah.
part of my new thing.
I'm with you. Lately, I've been craving dumplings too. It's weird. Yeah, like you said, when we used to work, when we used to go into the office, we used to go pretty often, I would say, compared to now, anyways. I don't think there are too many places where we live either in Whitby. I don't know of any.
I found one place. I'll
Oh,
send you the
perfect. Let
link
me know.
afterwards.
Yeah,
They knew me.
because I've been craving it too.
They knew me as the
Oh,
pregnant lady.
oh,
Like I would always send Dylan.
oh, you're the same order, same as yesterday,
Yeah,
Dilani?
I would
Yes,
order
have
the
your
same
order.
things. I would order the same things, and they just knew who I was. And like Dylan would go, and they just knew him, and it was just, this is embarrassing. Like I like the shrimp,
Mhm.
the what is it, siumai or siumai? Okay, I'm butchering it right
I'm
now.
I
not
don't
a
know the
dumpling.
names.
Like I
But
don't know.
it's pretty
Yeah.
I
much
just
like
eat it. I don't know the
pork
names.
shrimp,
Mhm.
steamed pork shrimp dumplings, or steamed shrimp
Hmm.
dumplings. So pretty much it's just like shrimp and I guess in a batter, like a that gooey, sticky kind of
Yeah.
textured batter. I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
what it is,
Hmm.
but yeah, they steam it, right? So that's considered dumplings. But it's also under
Mhm.
dim sum too. With some restaurants, they call it's under dim sum too. So I'm not sure, but
Mm.
that's what I like. And I like the sauce that comes with it. And I found this one ready-made like one from Costco. I recently bought it. It's amazing. You just put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, let it steam for a minute, and then the sauce that comes with it too. It's just like really good, easy, and it tastes really
Mm.
good. So I'm like, I'm happy that I found that too. I'm like, I'm gonna go stock up on this stuff.
Yeah, good idea.
Delicious. Did you feel like your tastes have changed like since you were younger or whatnot? Like I know nowadays, when I was younger, there's no such thing as too sweet. Like it didn't matter. It could be like insanely sweet, and I would still eat it, and I would still enjoy it. But
Hmm.
now I do have things where I'm like, yo, this is too sweet. Like I don't want anymore. Or you know what I mean? The sugar is just
Yeah.
too much. Or like in like other foods like okra and stuff. I used to hate okra. Like I despised it as a child, but now I enjoy it like very much. So like, have you found that your tastes have changed at all?
Yeah, definitely. For example, I used to hate onions.
Mhm.
Anything like in curries, I mean, specifically in curries. So I would always pick it out. There's certain things I'd always pick out in curries, but now I just eat everything. I don't
Yeah.
seem to have a problem with it. Even in like upama, like I used to, I don't know if you guys eat upama, but like my mom would put onions in it and I always pick it out. And now
Mhm.
I love I love onions.
Mhm.
And there's also like certain things that I used to, like for example, I used to hate dosa so much. Like I was
Yeah.
always like, oh no, I don't want it. And my mom usually makes it every other week or so.
Mhm.
And now I love it. Like I look forward to it. It's like probably one of my favorite like veggie dishes, I would say. So yeah, things like that, like for sure. I feel like maybe I've matured. Maybe my taste has finally matured a little. I'm trying out more things than I did from when I was little.
Do you have green chumbal or red chumbal?
I like red. But I eat both. I'll eat both, but I
Yeah.
prefer red.
You
Yeah.
prefer red.
Yeah.
What about you, Dills? Are you a red or green kind of girl?
I like my red, but sometimes occasionally I like the green with idli. When you have idli, then the green is nice. Yeah, idli.
Yeah.
But I also feel like my taste buds have changed. I used to love like super spicy food. Nowadays, I try the non-spicy dishes on the menu, or even when I'm cooking. There recently I discovered, in the box of Timbits, the plain Timbits. We used to never touch the plain Timbits. I actually like the plain Timbits now. They're actually like
old-fashioned plain. I love it.
Yeah,
Old-fashioned
it
plain.
tastes
I
really
love it.
good, and it's like it's not too sweet. It's just perfect, and especially when it's fresh, it tastes really good. So, yeah, like that's one of
And
those.
it's like yum 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 yum. It does that.
Is that what it
You know,
is?
like when you eat
Is that what
it,
it is?
the texture is like yum 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 yum. It's like that.
It's like a perfected Vipin.
Yeah.
Vipin's the same thing, right? I feel like it's a similar flavor, right?
It's just slightly sweet. It's not too sweet. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Now that you actually mention it, there are things that I don't really eat as like in terms of like sweet things. There's things that I might find too sweet, and I'm like, no, I don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you said, when I was younger, I probably would have ate it without a problem.
Yeah. Or even like lemon flavor. I know we've discussed this before.
You like that?
I like lemon flavor. Like I actually look forward to having anything like lemon. Like I feel like every time I have it, it's like it's different. It's a little different, and I guess maybe because I haven't had it, and I never never wanted to have lemon flavor all growing up. That nowadays I actually look forward to it. I'm like it's an old person thing, I think.
Tell my sister that, because she loves lemon.
Yeah, I know.
So I was thinking about how there are some myths that we learn, or things that we learn when we're younger, or even when we're older, and then we realize that, hey, like maybe that's not true anymore. So one of the things I was thinking about is how breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So yes, as a child, I understand, because when you're in school, when you're in class, you can't have your stomach growling, you can't be hungry. I spent so many mornings just like trying to adjusting my seat while my stomach growls, so that there'll be a sound that kind of overtook the growling of my stomach. You know what I mean? Like in elementary school or even in high school. But now as adults, it's actually good to skip breakfast, or to fast for a longer period of time. It's not just a weight loss thing, but in terms of regulating like all your other health stuff. Like it's just, it's good to fast. So when I looked at intermittent fasting, and I was a little confused, because I was like, I thought breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but then they're saying fasting is good. And so what is it like? And then I I guess when you realize that, okay, something that you've believed all your life, and then there's this other thing that's introduced that kind of contradicts that, like how you try to rationalize it. That's what you would initially try to do. So when I looked at it, I was like, okay, maybe what they mean by breakfast is the most important meal of the day, what they're saying is the first meal you have in the day is the most important meal, because sometimes that kind of sets the tone for how you're going to eat the rest of the day, what your body's going to be craving the rest of the day. So if you eat something high fat, high calories, then your body's going to want that kind of food, which I've noticed myself. Like, I don't know if everyone has that, but I know let's say if I was like, oh, I'm going to have McDonald's for lunch. If I have McDonald's if I didn't, that's my first meal, then the rest, for dinner, I want something like that too. Like, I don't want a healthy I don't want a salad. Like, get that shit out of here. I don't want that, so it's just one of those things. And did you guys come across anything that you felt like, oh, like I believe this, but that's actually not true, or I realized later that's not true necessarily?
If you eat McDonald's every day, you're going to get fat, is obviously what people think, right? But then it's just like how much you eat. Obviously it's unhealthy. That's a different story, right? So I think it's just like how much you eat. It's not necessarily what it is, right? I guess growing up, I was always like, oh, if you eat McDonald's every day, you're going to get fat for sure. But that's not always the case. It's the portion and what you're eating.
Yeah. it's just the caloric like deficit, right? As long
Mhm.
as you're expending more energy than you're actually consuming, you're
Mhm.
going to lose weight. It's just there's items on there, which I think filet o fish is the worst one on the list, but there's items on their menu that they're like 1,000, 1,500 calories. So yeah, if you eat that and you can eat that throughout the day, then I mean, it's probably not gonna, and you're not working out or you're not doing anything
Exactly.
else, then it's probably
Exactly.
not gonna be good for you. But
Mhm.
like, I skip, like, do you guys eat breakfast?
I'm a big believer in breakfast. Like I personally can't function properly if I'm not, I haven't had anything to eat. With the whole intermittent fasting, like I've kind of tried it too, but what I did was like not eat dinner, like not to eat dinner, but pretty
Mhm.
much like make my dinner super early, so that way I'm still fasting. But as soon as I wake up and I need to do things, like if I didn't have my coffee and something to eat, like I feel I can't function. Like I need some sort
Yeah.
of food in my system to function. So that's how my body works. Everyone's different. Like I wouldn't be able to
Sure.
focus pretty much. Like if I
Mhm.
didn't eat anything pretty much. So that I guess is different for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, it is different for everybody.
So when I was going into work, I was having breakfast. I would have oatmeal every day. But now that I've been working from home, I don't. There's like a good 3-4 hours before I actually have my first meal. So I think I'm doing
Yeah.
something similar to. I know you mentioned intermittent fasting. Like that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm trying to limit my meals to a certain number of hours a day. And so now I just got used to it. And technically, I guess, yeah, I'm not really having breakfast.
Like usually I skip breakfast, but today I actually ended up eating breakfast because I woke up early, and I didn't have to go to work early. So I was just like, oh, let me have some cereal. But I realized that since I usually skip breakfast, the fact that I had breakfast, when it came like lunchtime, like I was starving. I was just like, and usually I wouldn't even eat. And like the fact
Mhm.
that because I had this, like, I had a meal already, my body was just like, please, sir, like, can I have some more? Like, it was just like I was so hungry. And I'm like, how am I this hungry? I'm never this hungry.
Yeah.
When I skip breakfast, I'm never this hungry at lunch. Like, I'm
Hmm.
just like, yeah, I can eat, but like I'm not like starving. It was
Yeah.
just so weird. Like I just thought it was really weird.
Yeah. The stomach
Yeah.
plays games on us once in a while. Like, cause I feel like I get used to it, right? Like if obviously in the beginning it's a little tough, not eating for a period of time in the morning. But then like once I start, it gets easier. But there's some days like you, Nalani, where I'm just like I'm starving, like my stomach is growling, and I'm just like I don't know what's going on there, and so
Yeah.
I might eat
Yeah.
a little bit earlier.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to put those restrictions. Again, we can't say trust your body, and if you're feeling hungry, like you should, like if you're feeling full, then you should stop eating.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then also say if you're feeling hungry, you shouldn't eat though,
Hmm.
because like you can't, it doesn't, it should work both ways.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, like I always try to have a little bit of water or something, and I'll have something, because sometimes it's just a matter of putting something in that you just kind of need that. So I'll
Hmm.
try that. If it doesn't work, then I'm gonna eat. Like I'm
Yeah,
not so strict with it, but it
yeah,
is good to at least, like, go a certain period of time when you're not eating food. You don't need to
yeah.
call it intermittent fasting, but like just having that kind of a set, like that time period where you're not eating, because it's really good for you, like
Beneficial too.
health.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very beneficial, definitely. And like I remember, so like the other time we were at my sister's house, and I ended up having a really big lunch. Like it was um it was rice and curry, but like there was something about it that I ate, and then I ate a second time, which I never put a second plate of food. And I actually ate a second plate of food. So when it came to dinner, I was like, I'm not gonna eat. Like I'm still full from lunch. I'm not gonna eat. My sister was like, well, you can't just like not eat. And I was
Hmm.
like, well, yeah, I can. Like, why do I need to eat? Because I never skip dinner. Like breakfast, sure, lunch sometimes, but like dinner, like it's never a meal
Yeah.
you skip.
Right.
It's not usually for most people. And then so I'm just like, no, like why? Because like there's these arbitrary times that are set, like, oh, you should have your meals at these times. So like, are we really hungry and we're eating, or is it just because it's that time of the day and we're expected to eat? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
No,
it's
that's
just so
true.
weird.
That is true. I never really thought
Yeah.
about it that way, but like it's just, oh, it's 6 o'clock. We better start eating now. Like that's really what
Yeah.
it is, how it is.
Mhm.
Are we
Yeah.
necessarily hungry? I don't know. Like I'm
Yeah.
just eating because I have to at that time.
Yeah.
you eat because you're scared that
Yeah.
in a couple of hours you're gonna get hungry, and you're like, at that time you're not gonna be, you're gonna be too tired to figure out what to eat, or like, so you're just like, okay, let's just
Yeah.
eat now, so we don't have to worry about it later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my schedule, like I have to look at what I'm doing that day, and then I kind of figure out what my eating schedule is going to be. It's so
Yeah.
important. Like if I'm going out and I'm like, okay, I might not eat by this time. Okay, this is when I'm going to have the meal right before that. It's crazy how important it is. Like just figuring out when you're having each meal.
Yeah, food planning and food prep it's so crazy. It's such a big part of everything. And I've gotten into such a habit of eating as soon as I get home. Like my
Hmm.
dinner is when I get home. So
Hmm.
I'll come home at like 3 o'clock sometimes and I'm like, where's my food?
It's time
Where's
for
dinner?
dinner.
Like, and I'm like, Akash, you didn't make anything. He's like, it's 3 o'clock. I'm like, well, like I'm home now though.
Yeah, no, that's so funny. I get that.
Do you remember the food pyramid thing they used to teach us in school?
Yep.
The
Yes.
like how many servings?
Yeah,
That
the
was like the
percentage,
biggest bullshit like that they ever fed us.
it changed from when we were younger, right? Like I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it
yeah.
keeps changing.
As
Um,
they keep figuring out stuff, because it's just
yeah.
like, no, we can't have 5 to 11 servings of like breads and cereals and pastas every day. No,
Oh my
like
God,
no,
that's
it
so
doesn't work
true.
like that. Even fruits and vegetables, like I don't eat like, I think both of them together was like 6 to 8
Mm-hmm.
servings. I don't eat like that. Like, I mean, I don't know if anyone can manage to fit all that food that they're
No,
expecting us to fit into our diet. Like,
no,
it
that's
was
too
such a
hard.
crazy thing.
Because like
Yeah.
especially with I don't know about you guys, but with Tamil food, like it's like there's some days where we're only eating carbs, I want to say. And like
Hmm.
that's the meal. It doesn't include any veggies and that's all you're eating. So it's kind of tough. But like I think me personally, I don't follow obviously that guide, but like I try to have some sort of veggie and like maybe a little bit of carbs and then some protein. Like that's kind of what I'm trying to do nowadays. Like more veggies, less carbs, and then like a pretty good portion of protein as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of something that I've been following in my, I don't know, maybe in like the last like 2-3 years of my life. I try, if I don't, I feel really weird. That's kind of the
Yeah.
point it's gotten to,
Hmm.
where it's like, oh, I'm just eating a meal with carbs and nothing else. That's a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm at that point now.
That's good. That like that little balance.
Hmm.
Like it's good to have a little bit of everything and just kind of round
Yeah.
out your food. That's a good idea.
It is good, but it gets thrown out the door when I go out to eat, though. So, I mean,
Yeah.
how good is it? Majority of the time, I do try to follow that.
Yeah. I've always been like I before. Nowadays I feel like I've grown this liking towards pasta, but before
Mm.
I was always like a meat and vegetables kind of person, like
Hmm.
mashed potatoes, vegetables, and like fish or
Hmm.
chicken or steak.
Yeah.
But then I stopped eating steak, so I'm always eating like it's like chicken all the
Yeah.
time. Like it's like chicken, chicken, chicken all the time. So I'm just, and like salmon, I don't even want to see it because I ate it so much when I was on keto. So I was like, I don't even want to look at salmon anymore. Like I'm done. I'm over you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so because of that, I feel like I've kind of started eating pastas and stuff. Like, I've been kind of ordering pasta, which I would never order before. Like I would
Hmm.
never go for pasta. Like it just didn't
It's
make
too
sense for
filling.
me. Yeah, exactly. But now it's just like
Whatever. Just
pasta
order
every
it.
day. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. I made pasta yesterday.
The thing about pasta is, like, I used to always think, oh yeah, like I love pasta too. And there was a time frame where I was like, oh, pasta is really bad. It's high in sugar and whatnot. But then later, like
Mhm.
I did some research, and like, like I tried different types of pastas, and it's actually not as bad as we think. It's just, it's literally portion
Yeah.
sizes. It's literally portion sizes. So
Right.
pasta is actually better than, sometimes even better than rice. So it just, as long as you know which
Interesting.
exact pastas you're getting in terms of
Mm.
sugar content, it's actually better than rice. It's shocking, but I'm like, hey,
Hmm.
I can
Yeah.
do pasta. Like if there is
Hmm.
less sugar in pasta, like I can do pasta. I love pasta, and it's filling, right? So
Hmm.
yeah, like just look
Right.
into that.
Look into the
Yeah.
nutrition, I guess, and like see what's
Yeah.
in it. Yeah. Because I don't really eat like whole wheat pasta, so maybe like the pasta I eat is probably not good for me. Like, so I should probably avoid that.
Or
eating
just the
too much.
portion, like she
Right.
said, like because when you go out to restaurants, like I feel like pasta is usually a big portion. Like that's
Yeah.
it's a really big portion.
Right.
So maybe not eat the entire thing and maybe take it home and then have it for which I take home food all the time. Like I rarely finish my food in restaurants, but um just take it home and that could be either lunch the next day or a snack later in the night when you get hungry
Yeah.
again.
Or as soon as I get home, I might just eat
Yeah. On the car ride home, you're just like
like, why did I even pack this? Yeah.
but honestly, like food, it brings me so much joy. Like I get joy from food. I get joy from eating. I here and there I'll meet someone who doesn't really care for it. Like it's just I eat it because I need the nutrition and I need it to give me energy so I can like just like live. Like that's the only reason they're eating. They don't really care for it. They don't crave foods like and I mean I wish sometimes I'm just like it'll be kind of nice to have a little bit more of a balance because me I'm an emotional eater. When I'm happy or if it's like something good happened, I want to celebrate with food. If I'm sad or I'm sad about something or depressed about something, I want to eat like the worst food possible and just make myself feel worse so I could just be a, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense
But
Yeah.
that's
I,
just the
that's
thing
what
to
I
do.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
No, but
So
it's same thing. It makes me so happy. Sometimes I feel like it's the one thing that brings me happiness. No, I'm just joking. But like, yeah, it really makes my day. Like when, especially if I know I'm gonna have something that I really like, I look forward to it and it makes me happy. So I'm just like you.
yeah.
I'm the same way. It's just an emotional battle all the time. It's like, you want to take care of your health, you want to lose weight, but then at the same time, you want to eat because that's what makes you happy. And, you try to, regulate yourself by, trying to make things healthy or trying to go out and try to make smart choices. But it's just like, what's the point? Like, like I like Nilani said, there are people out there who just eat because they need to eat and survive. Like I can't do that. Like I
Yeah.
enjoy it. It's a hobby to go and try new restaurants and new dishes and whatnot. So like, yeah, like maybe that's why there's the term foodie, right? We're all foodies. Like we enjoy food and we
Yeah.
enjoy that experience and it brings us joy. So to be honest, I'm okay with it. Like I've accepted that fact and I'm not gonna, I do think about people who don't care for it. Like my mom's like that. She doesn't need, like, she just needs to eat. That's all. And we're just like, you don't care if there's salt in the food, there's, if it's spicy or not. Like you don't care about anything. You just need to eat. And my father and I, we're not like that. We need like flavor. We look at flavor a lot. So everyone's different. And yeah, I'm happy that I
Sure.
am a foodie and I appreciate that. Cause I feel like food is an art, right? Like food is literally an art itself. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
No,
fun.
agreed.
We can enjoy this for the rest of our lives. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
It might be the only thing that we enjoy for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, that's one thing I actually worry about. Like there's, as you guys know, I love cheese and I'm worried that one day, it's, as you get older, obviously your body changes, right? And so like my biggest fear is becoming lactose intolerant or something, just because like I'd have to give up on things that I really love eating, like dairy. So yeah, hopefully my body doesn't change too much and I can continue to eat the things that I love.
Yeah. That would be a hard one because like when we were doing keto, it was Akash's sister's birthday. So it was because of quarantine and like just because of COVID, we couldn't celebrate. So what they ended up doing was they bought like each family, they bought, oh, what do you want to eat? And they bought food for everybody. So for us, they asked us, and at that time it was very limited, like what we could eat out. Eating out, that's why we didn't eat out much because it was like what we could eat was very limited. So we ended up getting burrito bowls, and for sure. So when they went and got the burrito bowl, I could have cheese because it's high in fat. So that was one thing I enjoyed about keto. Like dieting is hard, but keto, the one thing I did like was I could have this high fat foods that normally people wouldn't eat because it's not good for you. I could have that because I needed the fat. I needed the fat. So, but they thought, okay, they're doing they don't really know keto, right? They didn't really understand keto. So they thought they were helping, I believe, by telling them to put some, like, it wasn't real cheese. It was like some other cheap thing on it. It
Mhm.
ruined my entire
Oh
mood. Like,
no.
I was like, this is so gross. How do,
Yeah.
it's like, it was, I'm like, how do people eat this? It was
Yeah.
just like talking about it. It was terrible. Like, I couldn't
Yeah.
even look past it.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't, like, even with a burrito bowl, which has so many flavors and there's so many things and sauces and everything, I couldn't look past the nasty ass cheese that was
Mhm.
on it. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
it was terrible. So
Yeah.
I hope, knock on wood and everything, that you're never like, you never become lactose intolerant, because
No.
like non-dairy cheese is terrible.
Is it? I've never even tried it, but
Anyone
it
who
sounds
tries to
Haven't
tell
horrible.
tried
you
it
it's
either.
okay, they're
Yeah.
just like, they just don't have any
They're
other
lying
option.
to themselves.
They're 100% lying to themselves. Jeez. But when it comes to eating, like diets and stuff, like I'm like, okay, like just eat, like try to eat as well as you can. And for me, my issue is, if I eat poorly one day, like really poorly one day, I don't take it as, okay, so I did eat poorly today, fine, that it is what it is. But tomorrow maybe I'll hit the gym, or maybe I'll go for a walk, or maybe but I'll eat well tomorrow. I don't look at it like
Yeah.
that. I'm like, I'm already eating poorly, let me just wait till Monday, or and then I'll start back on it. Like,
Mhm.
and it's just one day or even one meal of eating poorly ends up becoming like 3-4 days. And
Right.
and it's like, which is, I'm in that right now. So I'm like going through that right now. And it's just like a psychological thing, and just trying to fix that part of it. Like, I don't know.
It's
Like,
a constant goal. I mean, sorry, it's a constant
it's
battle.
a
Like
struggle.
Dilani said, it's
Yeah.
just, I mean, it's hard. Like I'm kind of going through the same thing right now because obviously my sister and my nieces are here. So I eat like anything and everything just because that's what the vacation is for, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that's how
Yes.
I'm kind of like what I'm telling
Mhm.
myself. And it is hard getting out of it. Like I don't know if I'm going to get out of it until like they actually leave. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm trying as much as I can, like where I can, like kind of get a normal meal in here and there. But I mean, yeah, like it's hard when you get into it, it's hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I'm the same way. Like when you get into when you're, in that like zone where, you're just eating badly and you're just like, I'm already eating badly. Let me just keep eating badly. But I think like the key to that
Mhm.
is trying to, like Nilani said, like just get an activity in there or whatnot, or like hitting the gym or whatnot. So like, I feel like when you're working out properly or you're like being active, and then you have these one or two meals here and there that are bad, it doesn't affect you that much, right? And mentally, you can kind of bounce back to.
Hmm.
You can just be like, okay, it was just one meal. But when you're not being active
Mhm.
and you're not like really being like conscious about what you're eating, it's just so hard. It's just starting that
Hmm.
process is
Yeah.
so hard. But once you're in
Yeah.
that flow of things, it's a lot easier. But yeah, it's I have to
Yeah.
also, I'm also in that rut because right now I couldn't eat throughout the 9 months. I wasn't eating properly. I couldn't. My body wouldn't just my body
Mhm.
wouldn't allow me to eat what I wanted. So after I had my baby, I was just like, I want everything. Like, give it to me. I want to eat
You
everything.
want to
So
make
right
up for
now,
all those months.
yeah, I'm just enjoying
Mhm.
food, and I'm like just like, okay, just another month, and then we'll get try to
Yeah.
watch what we eat. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a tough
Well,
battle.
enjoy it, because like, what's the point in being so strict with your food and then just being miserable? You don't want that either, right? So it's just
Exactly.
balance. It's just
Yeah,
balance. And
balance.
I'm still working on it, and you know, it's a long road, and it's a continuous road. It's not something
Exactly.
that it's just like, okay, you're there and now you're there. No, it's something you just have to keep working on.
Takes time.
But like, obviously, don't get caught up. We shouldn't be getting caught up in all these like crazy things about. And I don't even want to go into all this body image stuff that's out there right now. I feel like that's a completely different topic. But yeah, I mean, we just want to be healthy.
Yeah, and feel
That's it.
good
Like,
and
that's
feel
the main
good.
goal.
That's it. Just
Feel
feel
good and
good.
be healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you mentioned diet, like I think we were talking about just diets and things like that, right? Like I just like I've tried a couple and I realized like I'm not even like it just doesn't work, and for me anyways, me
Yeah.
personally. And I've kind of just now I just avoid any sort of diet, like any sort of crazy diet that comes out. Just because like I think I just want to focus, like you said, you just want to be healthy, you want to, and I want something sustainable. Like most of these diets, there's nothing that I can sustain for a long period of time. I'll do it for
Yeah.
a period of time and then that's it. It's completely thrown out the window after that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me now, it's just like you said, just figuring out what works for me, and continue that.
Mm-hmm. And on that note, I think Diana is ready for her mom again.
Yeah.
She's like, what's taking her so long? I know this other lady here looks like my mom, but she's not my mom.
It's like I wanted to be
Not
like,
the
did
same.
you check her diaper?
Nabs, come on, get on the ball.
I fed her. I changed her diaper. And I told her, I'm like, if she cries, it's probably she needs to, like a burp, or like she just wants to walk around, to just like rock her and walk
Yeah.
around. But I guess I say this, but is it constantly like I'll do like 3-4 diaper changes in a matter of 20 minutes? Like it's crazy. So you think she's done, but she's not.
Look at Nalani's face. She's like, that's
Where is
exhausting.
that coming from? She is so tiny.
I know.
As Rachel said in things like, what are they eating? Indian food? Like,
That's so funny.
goodness sakes. Aw, poor girl. But yeah. Well, thank you ladies for coming on. This was fun. And definitely a conversation I wanted to have. So I'm just glad I was able to do it with two of my foodie friends.
Thanks for having us. It's always a fun time.
Thanks, Lonnie. I feel like there were so many topics I wanted to talk about, and I'm like, we didn't get to anything. Like, it's just like this topic is so like vast, and there's so much
Broad.
to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
maybe we can have
we
a
can
part
do a part two.
I know.
With some of our other foodie friends.
Exactly.
And join, yeah, because we were supposed to have someone else too, and she couldn't make it. But we'll definitely do another part. Think of a little bit more stuff to talk about, and we'll do it again. All right.
For
Sounds
sure.
good.
Everyone who's listening, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have any feedback on today's episodes, please do not hesitate to reach out.
Grateful.
Thankful.
Blessed.